Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing a review of a horror film from the UK, English language, released in the year 2013, directed by Ben Wheatley, and this film is called A Field in England. And the story to A Field in England is as follows. England during the English Civil War. A small group of deserters flee from a raging battle through an overgrown field. They are captured by two men, who force the group to aid them in the search for a hidden treasure that they believe is buried in the field. Crossing a vast mushroom circle which provides their first meal, the group quickly descend into a chaos of arguments, fighting, and paranoia. And as it becomes clear the treasure might be something other than gold, they slowly realise they're victim to the terrifying energies trapped inside the field. So the movie is set during the English Civil War. There is a group of people who have fled an ongoing battle. So they're deserters, and they believe that they're cowards, and if they're caught, they're going to be killed. They're basically death penalties. So they are really paranoid about being caught, and they go through this hedge and onto this field, a very secluded field and a very mysterious field. This is where they meet up with two other people who seem to be quite evil, very psychopathic, and they take these people captive, and they say that in order to be released, they're going to have to dig for gold that they believe is hidden somewhere in this field, and once they achieve that, they are free to go. So they go along and they're digging for the gold, but they can't find it, and this is where they realise that there might be some sinister energies within this field. So their first meal is a bunch of mushrooms, and these mushrooms force them to go down a hellish path of hallucinatory images that not only threaten to destroy their mental health, but also their physical health as well. So what happens at that point on is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on A Field in England. This director is one of the best directors going around, and I feel that he is one of the most versatile directors going around, and I feel that his films are so important because in a day and age where it's all about remakes, it's all about, recycling ideas, Ben Wheatley comes along and he completely smashes you with new material each time. But although there's new material, he stays confined to what makes him so good. So the fans of Ben Wheatley are in for something new, but there's always that Ben Wheatley trademark, whether it's the script or the brutal violence or the humour. It's always there, but it's something a bit different. So case in point, Down Terrace was his first film. I thought that was a very psychological input into the family dynamics of a crime family. I thought that was very well done, and it relies solely on what the people are saying. Then you go to Kill List, and that relies on what you see. Brutal violence, just really in your face. But the similarities between those two films is that it has very strong dialogue, and the overall mood is very unnerving. Then you've got Sightseers, again, which is a comedy, so it separates itself from the first two, but again, it has that eeriness to it. It has the very smart script, and there's strong similarities between the three, but each film is very different. So that's what I love about Ben Wheatley, and I was expecting something different in this film. It was more of an art house film, but I was expecting still the same sort of Ben Wheatley style. And so the expectation levels were very, very high, and those high expectation levels were met. I thought this is an absolutely brilliant film. It really got to me. I feel that not only is it a film about people deserting, the comedy in the film, the brutal violence, it's all there. It's an art house film. But what got to me so much was the message. I felt that it was a message about paranoia, about the unknown. For me, when I get into I have anxiety issues, and when I'm thinking of anxiety, things come to my mind where I feel that it's out of my control, that I'm worried that something's going to come up and it's going to be very, very bad. And that's exactly what these characters are going through. And I thought it was so good, it was so vivid, and it felt like a really bad dream. And Ben Wheatley has taken time and effort to create something that feels like it has no control, but in the end it does have control. So it's kind of like order amongst chaos. It doesn't have control, but then it does. It feels like it was deliberately made to be a very messy piece. It doesn't follow a simplistic sort of plot. But it's just all over the place, but it feels very deliberate. So although it feels like it's got no control, it feels like it's got control, if that makes sense. So that's something I loved about it. It was something different. It didn't follow a formula. It just felt like it was ad-lib. It was making it up as it was going along, and I was absolutely enthralled by it. Now, this is down to the absolutely phenomenal script. I thought each and every word coming out of these characters' mouths were just absolutely mesmerizing, fascinating, and I never thought I would get so much suspense out of something so little. Nothing is going on, but you still feel really eerie. You feel that there's a tingle, going down your spine, a chill going down your spine. You felt that each and every one of the characters was slowly transforming into something sinister. There were some camera shots that were absolutely unforgettable. One of the best scenes I've ever seen in any film was when one of the characters comes out of a tent, attached to a rope. I thought that was absolutely haunting, absolutely beautiful, and it was just one of those occasions where you think to yourself, wow, I have witnessed something truly remarkable, and it's not something I get every day, and that is what I applaud Ben Wheatley for. I thought the script was absolutely flawless. I thought it was very funny. I wasn't expecting to laugh as much as I did, and it felt like it was all coming very naturally. It didn't feel like it was out of place. You know, some of these movies, they're serious and they have a little bit of comedy relief, but it feels so out of place. But this movie tends to have a very surreal feeling where you feel like you're in a bad dream, but there's elements of this dream that are light-hearted. But it all feels natural, and it all comes together very, very strangely into a very, very rewarding experience. Now, the acting from Reece Shearsmith as the alchemist, very pathetic character, but that character is what I could relate to. Now, it's pretty sad saying that you can relate to a pathetic character, but his paranoia and his uncertainty about his life, that is what the film has. It feels like this field that they're going around in is basically life, and it's life's uncertainty, and it's all clouding around, making a very claustrophobic feeling, and I could just relate to this character so much. And that's why I liked it so much, is because I was absolutely captivated by each and every person. Michael Smiley plays the evil guy, and he was absolutely fantastic, as with everybody involved. It's a very limited cast, but I thought it worked very well. The grey, sort of black and white atmosphere the film has was very, very good. Thought it contributed to the very eerie feeling. You're going to make your own conclusions up at the end. I think, as I said, it feels to me that the film is about being uncertain, there's the paranoia of not knowing what's coming around the corner and always feeling that something really bad is going to happen. And that's what got to me, and that's something I was not expecting. So basically what you get is a film with the characteristics of a Ben Wheatley movie, a very, very good script, very good acting, a very funny sort of way that the movie portrays itself, but at the same time a very eerie feeling. There are some absolutely mesmerizing camera angles. It never gets boring. It just keeps on going along. It snowballs. The transformation from the hallucinatory the images to the real images. You don't know what the difference is between reality and basically fantasy, and that's something that you get. If you've been in a state of depression, if you've been in a state of paranoia, this is how it feels. And I thought Ben Wheatley absolutely just smashed it out of the park. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant film, and it's one that I would highly, highly recommend. So overall, for Field in England, I'm going to give it 5 stars. Ben Wheatley is just getting better and better, and I can't wait to see what he comes up with next. So, A Field in England, I think it's a masterpiece, and it's one that everybody needs to see. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.